Welcome to the Stars Align Dramas and Dreams podcast, where the infinite sky meets the starry world of dramas. We are guides to the cosmos, from heart-stopping queer love stories to straight dramas of unexpected love.
And every unforgettable moment in between that make us swoon, laugh, and cry. And, of course, we'll sprinkle in a little stardust along the way.
I'm Nixie, your drama enthusiast ready to break down the best, and sometimes most chaotic storylines, filming techniques, and the worlds we can't stop obsessing over.
I'm Cyrus, here to delve into characters, themes, and symbolism that invoke emotion that resonate with us in powerful and lasting ways.
Each week, we'll explore the stellar journey of love, identity, and connection, one drama and one dream at a time. Today we orbit the series Satellite, where we discuss everything a series has to offer. Our satellite this week is orbiting Reverse with Me.
So, gather your stardust, find your spot under the stars, and let's dive in.
Let's begin by taking a look into the stars. We take a closer look at the synopsis that captivate us and the stars, on and off screen, who make every moment shine. Join us this week as we stargaze into the captivating world of Reverse with Me. But before we can stargaze deeper, we must start by discussing the basics. Reverse with Me is a 2025 Thai GL, produced by iQIYI. This show can be watched uncut on iQIYI, and it has 8 episodes with a duration of 49 minutes, which makes it approximately 6 hours, 32 minutes long.
The synopsis reads, Karan and Kliao Khluen, two souls bound by love nurtured within the realm of dreams. Traveling back in time, they seek to mend the fractures of the past, yet altering the past, unleashed unforeseen consequences, some beyond the reach of even time itself. Source, iQIYI. Adapted from the novel Reverse with Me Across Millions of Orbits by ZZHo.
Not gonna lie, kind of forgot. I was so confused when you were reading Two Souls Bound by a Love Nurtured Within the Realm of Dreams, and I was like, what are you talking about? What dreams? And then I remembered the dreams they kept having of each other, and I was like, oh yeah, those dreams.
You know, big part of the story, but go on. It's okay.
To me, I remember more of Karan having the dreams, more so than Kliao Khluen.
To me, it doesn't make sense that Kliao Khluen has them.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either. I was also confused.
We can delve more into that later. Like, overall, I think technically a little weird. Synopsis-wise, it's fine technically.
I found it interesting that they phrase it traveling back in time. They seek to mend the fractures.
They seek,
and
yeah.
I'm like, but only Karan was the only one that could. Like, and like technically, yeah, sure, Kliao could. You know, she like literally the only time she even knew about this was because of that one where she lost her arm and then she fell off the thing, and so because they touched, she was able to go back in time with her. And so, but like her could go back in time as much as she wants without her even being aware that she was going back in time. So it really wasn't a they thing. Like, it kind of does maybe evolve into that, but at the same time, it doesn't really ever go that far.
I do wish we did get a little bit more in the synopsis. I feel like it could really benefit from maybe just a sentence or two with more substance to it. Because there's not much there.
But it is pretty, for the most part, it's written pretty powerful-ish synopsis. So like, it's short and it makes sense.
Yeah. And the fact that this is the My Drama List like synopsis and like its source is iQIYI means that like this is like the like 2-sentence thing that is on like right after you click the tile for the show to give you just the briefest of summary. So like it makes sense why it's written like this. I just wish we could have gotten a little bit more specifically for like the My Drama List synopsis, you know?
Yeah. The stars that guide Reverse with Me shine brightly. Let's meet the cast and crew who make it shine. Our main couple is Nat Natamon, who plays Karan, and Pita Pichaton plays Kliao Khluen. There is a side couple. They are Fluk Tanakhon, plays T, and Mao Mao Ratchaya plays Meow. The screenwriter and director was Mae Siwat, who hasn't been a part of many projects, and the few he has, I don't recognize.
While there were a lot more talented people who worked on the show, we unfortunately do not have the time to talk about everyone, but we would like to further highlight some of our thoughts about the cast and crew. I will say first and foremost, the My Drama List page for this series didn't have a lot of cast listed. If my memory serves me right, it literally was just the screenwriter and director, May, and that was it, other than cast. So
Yeah, it had the executive producer.
Oh, which I guess I could have put. Too late now.
Tally.
Oh, I love Tale. Oh,
So we got him in here.
Tale.
Tally. Sorry, I'm having too much fun.
It was really funny because this is one of the few times that I watched a show. I started it before Nixie did, and when Tale graced my screen rather, the first time, I immediately paused, went to text Nixie, and I was like, Tale's in reverse with me, and she just goes, which Tale?
I was like, which one? There's several tallies.
And I was like, fair enough. Tay Tale, who is in my engineer, because that's kind of like my go-to reference to him. It was the first thing Essie saw him in, so that's where my brain immediately goes to. And she was like, got it. That's very fun. And it is. Haven't seen that man in a while, and he just kind of pops up in the most randomest of places, which love to see.
To be fair, I don't think there's necessarily a lot of Tales. I think my brain was just like, there's a lot of Tales if you include, for some weird reason, like characters, or you include translation names and stuff like that. So like C, his name would have been Tale. And so like I actually don't think there's another like Tale per se that I can think of.
You know, not off the cusp, no.
I think my brain was just like, what's Tale?
Who you talking about?
I feel like I've heard Tale has a name for a character so many times that my brain forgot some of them aren't. Like, some of them are characters, and, like, he's the only, like, main
most are
real
fictional.
actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, Mr. Merman, literal main lead for that one is Tale. So, like I said a second ago, C's name technically translates to Tale. He doesn't go by Tale, but not really as possible for me to get mixed up for that one. But, but yeah. Now that I think about it, technically there's not really another Tale. I just guess my brain at the time was just like, which one? For some weird reason.
You know, I had to text you out of the blue on a random, like, Tuesday. So.
Fair enough, too.
Fair enough.
There's also that.
We've set the stage, and now it's time to delve deeper into Reverse with Me. Spoilers ahead as we start with The Story in the Stars.
Some stories are written in the stars. Others are written by the twist of fate. The stories in the stars explore the plot in detail, diving into character arcs, dramatic climaxes, and the conflicts, both necessary and unnecessary, that shaped the narrative.
Plot of this show is wild.
The first episode was wild.
Truly.
I was so confused when she lost her arm. I was
Me
like,
too.
So does she go the entire show without an arm? Like, I didn't even think about the time lapse. Like, I was like, does she? I was
too.
And then she gets it back because she goes back, Karan takes her back in time. But I was so confused.
Same. Like, I remember, like, after that, like, it happens and, like, you know, she's, like, wakes up in the hospital, doesn't have an arm. Like, I was like, I paused it and I was like, I've seen clips, like, from this show, and, like, she has 2 arms. What do you mean? And then, like, I sat there with it for a minute and I was like, wait, the series opens with a clip of her performing her song with 2 arms.
Yeah.
And, like, now we're here when, like, she's still in high school and, like, has just, like, recorded the song for the first time and put it up on YouTube. So, like, she hasn't performed it. So that has to be at a later time. And she has 2 arms. So, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
A wild ride.
Yeah,
Immediately.
I was so confused.
Out the gate. Karan comes and saves the day. As she
does.
has probably countless times. There's no telling how many times before that.
If she has done it countless times and it was as big as that one, then she's done some damage for
Oh
sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Because I knew there were going to be consequences, but I didn't know the extent of those consequences until we get towards the end. And we get to Tales, or, what's his character's name? Because Fiat and T, where things happen with Fiat and his family.
Mhm. Which is wild.
Oh, for sure. The introduction for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't expect it that because I don't remember anything behind them when they fell. So I don't know. That's why I never would have saw it coming. Now I knew
Mm-hmm.
he knew something for
Yeah.
sure by the way he acted
Mm-hmm.
and the things he did, but at the same time I was so confused. Also, a little bit of a plot detail thing I want to just rant into. So correct me if I'm wrong. She bleeds. She can't use time travel for that period of time, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if that's the case, what I did not understand was when he stabbed her and then
Mm-hmm.
turned around and kidnapped Kliao Khluen and, and then called her, whatever, had her come, and then was asking her to go back in time and fix everything. One, how was she even able to go back in time?
Yeah.
She was cut. I mean, she had a wound. Unless it's like active bleeding, maybe it clot and maybe it doesn't count if it clots over. It's not bleeding anymore. But I thought if she has any like open wounds, she can't travel.
That was my thought as well, but I don't know.
I don't know. We can talk a little bit more about that power stuff later. I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
say that confused me plot wise too, because I was like, why are you asking her to do this after you clearly overheard that she can't do that? And then how was she able to? That's that's a little bit of a deep discussion a little bit later, I guess. But I was so confused there. And then like the things that happened with his family, I don't know if this is too deep to go okay to go into in this segment or not, but the consequences that kept happening the more she kept trying to go back
Yeah.
and fix things, only to realize it just got worse and bigger and bigger and bigger. I am also curious. This can be thrown out here and thrown into later, or like re-brought up in like the third section. But speaking of her powers, how was she even able to jump forward, see what happens, and come back to the same point in time?
No clue.
Because that's more of that's more like being able to see what would happen if she was to make the changes, not make the changes,
They
but
make them,
when
yeah.
her time ability meant that she made the changes. I don't know. That's something
These are the
I'd
real
have to.
questions.
That's some questions to ask a little bit later. My bad. But the consequences were wild because like it started with his family, save his family. It was like a whole bunch of people, and then it was a whole bus of people, and then it was whole like, oh, it just became more and more people the more she tried to save them. And that's why when she came back, she's like, I can't save them because you don't understand. This is going to start including kids. It's going to start including other people's families. It's become multiple families. It's not just going to be just one like yours. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to be a big issue. And she was like, I can't do it. And so he got stopped. Also, still don't make sense how this man just didn't go straight to jail.
Really.
Because after that happened, he just shows back up at the hospital like he didn't just kidnap Kliao Khluen and just threatened Karan.
Yeah.
I was so
And like
confused.
the hospital staff is like talking about it right before he comes in, so it's like not some like they know,
Yeah. It's not a secret.
which is wild.
Now, to be fair, don't they reset it though?
Yes.
So it does turn out okay in his end because they end up resetting
Mhm.
it far before I think he, stabbed her and did all that.
Mhm.
But at the time, I was so confused. Because, like, he wouldn't have ended up in jail if they reset it and, the accident never happened. But on the other hand,
That was still in the timeline where
yeah.
all of that did happen.
And the man
So,
was walking
wild.
around fine. Unless, did he make a comment about him trying to sneak around? Like, I don't remember.
I don't think so. What's insane to me is like, yeah, even if you have like reset the timeline and like in like this time, he didn't kidnap and like didn't stab any of that, but like all three of y'all know that that did happen, and yet you still invite him to your wedding. Wild behavior.
There's that too.
Wild behavior. I was like, I don't care if like technically in the current time, like, that didn't happen, that's still in my brain. You would not be at my wedding, sir.
I
You
guess
would not
Karan
be
was still
anywhere
too
near.
close to Fiat,
Absolutely not. Nah, couldn't be me.
but it was Karan and Kliao Khluen, so
And it was a choice that they made.
it was a choice.
The show just continues the GL girlies who have bad, bad daddy issues via horrible
I was
fathers.
I was gonna ask you about that because I came across that in one of our previous episodes for Clipwise, and I was like, all right, Sarah's uh, thoughts on another Geo with daddy issues.
To be fair, Kirkland's father was awful to both her and her younger brother, even though there was clear favoritism towards the son.
Because, like, he still he refused really both of them to go down a path of any form of art, but definitely did not like his daughter more, which I would have liked more information about because, like, clearly it seemed like he loved her a lot before the son came into the picture. And I guess it was just that, he always wanted a son and a son happened to come into the picture. But that still, to me, like, I guess as a human, that is enough. But I personally would have liked more details on that.
If you're gonna make someone horrible, you might as well, like, for the sake of the story, have a deeper reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, like, even like, in real life, bad people are like bad like for a list of reasons. Typically, some people are just awful for the sake of being awful, but like that's less common, I fear.
And like I said, it unfortunately is common for like somebody like, oh, I love this child
Hmm.
of this gender, and then turn around they end up having the opposite gender, which is happens to be the one they had always wanted to begin with. So then they start neglecting the first one, and so like that is very much a possible thing. I just personally, like I said, would have liked a little bit more detail about that,
Either more
particularly.
details or like even like more solid confirmation that like this is what
Mm-hmm.
the deal is.
Because it wasn't absolutely confirmed that that was the
Hmm.
reason behind it. You just assumed it was because he always wanted a boy, but it was her
Yeah.
at first, and then he has a boy, and he's like all its attention went to him.
Hmm.
That's just the assumption.
Absolutely. And then like what I love is that like well yes we get daddy issues on one side, there's like not even a possibility of having daddy issues with Karan because sapphic moms, which we love to see.
Mm-hmm. Having explored the stories in the stars, let's shine a light on character constellations where new stars await.
By mapping out character constellations, we chart the growth of our favorite characters, exploring how they shine brighter over time, evolve, and form unique constellations with the characters around them. I guess we'll start with Kliao Khluen. She was very sweet. Full stop.
That's all you got to say?
No, this girl just has a full band. We that just pops up honestly a lot throughout the series, and we know nothing about them. Not a thing.
Yeah.
Not who they are, how they met. I don't even think they were named, at least in the series that I can
I
remember.
definitely don't think so. I don't remember. No, definitely not.
Like I know like in their group chat like they have like contact names, but like that's not the same. And I don't remember them. But I don't they're not like referred to by names that I remember not even once. So that's wild considering how much they appear.
Yeah.
Not really important in the grand scheme of things, just something that really bothered me.
Fair enough. It makes sense that it bothers you. It's like they're cutting corners on characters, essentially.
Yeah, you're giving me more people to analyze and to love, but I just get blank people to look at. More Pokemon. I don't know if this fits more in here or in the next section, but I'm just gonna say it here. The universe was simply just against her. Just her entire existence. The entire show.
Oh, it absolutely was.
Like, she gets hit by a car. They reverse time to fix that. And then the same person we find out who didn't try to hit her with the car, like fully strangles her at the hospital. And she just kind of, that is glossed over so quickly.
It is, honestly.
So like she returns to work at said hospital, the same hospital, like the next day. They send her home for the night, and she comes back and just like is fine with that. I think I would still be crying.
They said, "No, you good."
That's fucking wild. Even like, meant to bring this up after
Mhm.
the car accident where she was hit by the car, rather. They amputated her arm, and she was just like, you know what? I might as well just not be here anymore, essentially. And like, it seems like she is like with it caught on like going and like trying to like stop her from doing what she was about to do, and like it seemed to be working because like, and then she's shot off the top of the building. I'm just like, girl,
Yeah.
at this point the universe is against you specifically.
Yeah, it was absolutely targeting her for sure. I don't. She hardly caught a break, to be honest with you.
Mm-mm. The entire show is just hit after hit, with the target being Kleklen.
Who did it end up being?
Um, her dad's one of her dad's coworkers,
Right.
because
Oh, I remember. I remember the police thing. Yeah.
her dad
Yeah.
was like corrupt and like brushed under the rug the killer, the guy who killed his wife and daughter. So
Yeah.
he's
I
like,
remember. I remember now.
you won't let me get justice for my daughter, I'm coming after yours, essentially.
Should have been the son.
That's so messed up.
Sorry. I was like, if you want more of an impact, make it the son.
That's truly fucked, Dixie. But unfortunately true.
Look, no, he should never come after anyone. I want to preference that. I just meant. I just wanted to say, like, I mean, if he wanted it to be more impactful on a strategic standpoint, criminal strategic standpoint, not good, shouldn't happen, whatever, but should have done the sign. Then she would have been scot free, man. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got brushed off way too easily. Okay, then might as well move to Carden.
This girl, precious. I said this about her mom. And like, Kadon's not as mean, but she is like, Four's meanness at the beginning to like is equivalent to Kadon's like cold like nature.
Yeah.
Like it has very similar vibes to me, which
Mm-hmm.
obsessed. Especially like when it's revealed like throughout the series in the same way that it is with Four in reverse for you.
Mm-hmm.
She's like so caring to Kliao Khluen the entire
Yeah.
time, which like is like more like in your face, like a parent in this one rather than in reverse for you with Four, but
Mm-hmm.
still obsessed.
It's kind of cool when they give those type of characteristics.
It's a lot of fun. Like one of the like this is such a little thing, but it like it's like one of the first things I think about when I think about this series. Like if I think about like just like the relationship between Kliao Khluen and Karan.
Mm-hmm.
But the time it's like on like Kliao Khlun's birthday, and like Karan like finds her like in the bathroom like drunk and like throwing up, and like takes her home to the back to the
Mm-hmm.
dorm at least, and like when she like gets her and like tucked into bed like all nicely, and like she's like sees that like Kliao Khluen is like having a nightmare,
Mm-hmm.
and like turns back time to before she was like having the nightmare to like soothe her so she wouldn't have a nightmare. Like, excuse me? That was so cute. Kind of dumb considering like what that does to her own self, but very cute.
It's cute nonetheless.
And then she cleans her apartment or dorm
Mm-hmm.
rather, sorry. Obsessed.
You seem obsessed with a lot of things.
Hey, you're really no better than I am.
You're right. You're right.
I just hyper focus my obsessions a little more than you do.
Depends what we're talking about.
That's fair.
Have you seen my drama list?
That's what I'm saying. Like you have a wider band and I hyper focus.
That's fair. Now that I think about it, that's true.
I think my biggest thing about Karan is like how much focus she put into making sure Kliao Khluen is okay at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Even like with the little umbrella that she brings Kliao Khluen, like after she gets strangled. Still wild. I really did like that. That was very cute. What I also found really cute was Meow and Thea.
They were adorable.
I was obsessed with them. I love them a lot.
I love Meow.
I agree.
She
She
was
was
so
precious.
precious. A little cutie patootie, if we will.
Absolutely a cutie patootie. I will. I absolutely will. He's like, A, she's just a good friend, first and foremost. B, she's like, even like from the like at the very beginning, just has the cutest little crush on B. And like it's so pure and she's so precious about it. The scene where like the little boy, like they find the little boy like in the hospital, like all alone and like clearly upset. And like she just like goes and like comforts him, a cutie patootie who will absolutely thrive in pediatrics, which was her is her goal. I love her.
I would hope she would be good with kids for what she was going for.
It seems like she is, so that's good news all around, you know? Even like with he was interesting. One of like my very first notes about this boy is, oh, boy's got some PTSD.
Oh, for sure. Cause like he snapped several times into panic attacks and stuff like that. Cause he was
Yes.
like that poor child.
That was specifically from the scene in episode 3, Cleo Clin's birthday as well, where like they're at the little bar while Cleo Clin and her band are performing, and like it's Meow and the in like the crowd, and he gets overwhelmed, and like I'm like, oh, he's traumatized. I'm like, I will say, because it connects from the to Fiat, but to Fiat, I do have like in my notes. No wonder your little brother's messed up. His big brother's a psycho, which I stand by.
Oh my god. That's great. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. You're right.
Like after the accident
Mm-hmm.
that killed their parents, Fiat is just like obsessed with the idea that like time travel exists, which it
Mm-hmm.
does. But Thea doesn't know that. And Thea's
He didn't need to
traumatized.
know that.
Like poor boy is traumatized, has PTSD, is like having panic attacks already, and like having
Mm-hmm.
his brother just like in his face, like saying like y'all went on the trip, y'all came back and like y'all are fine, but now it's not. Just like
Mm-hmm.
you're confusing this already traumatized, confused boy who you care about. Like it's your little brother. Like calm down.
It's like you're not helping the situation.
Absolutely not. You're actually actively making it worse. We've journeyed through the story in the stars and character constellations, but now let's explore uncharted elements for one last perspective.
By exploring uncharted elements, we highlight the unique aspects of the show, the bold twist, fresh ideas, and defining features that set it apart.
Like this is where we're going to go all into the time travel aspect of the show
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't make sense, frankly.
This one definitely makes less sense than the other one.
Hmm.
I need, or that, or maybe I just don't have all the information.
That's fair too. Like we can hope it's better worked out in the books. We can hope.
Yeah, we can always hope.
We haven't read it, so well, we may never know. um, like I've tried to like rationalize the the stipulation that like she can't time travel if she's bleeding.
Still doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to
I've
me.
tried, I've tried so hard. And, like all I've got is like if you tie it into the fact that like it plays into her like lifespan. I'm like maybe it's if she's actively bleeding like that has something to do with like the like lifespan aspect of it, but like that doesn't make sense to me. I tried and like that's all I got and it's still not great.
No, it does not make sense. Because, like, again, why would Fiat, having heard that she can't use her time travel while injured,
Mm.
injure her, and then proceed to ask her to use her time travel, and then second, her being able to actually use her time travel doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense. Like, does it have to be, like I said before, does it have to be active and not, like, clotted or something? Because it would have been clotted by then, I would assume. So I don't know what's going on. I'm confused.
So am I.
Even more
I've
so that if this happens to be the same universe as Reverse for you, then what I'm even more confused about is the fact that her mom is the one that told her all these things about how it shortens your lifespan and you can't travel while bleeding. Yet, when you think about it, I don't think she had the same limitations.
no, hers were just that she could only Wa's limitations were that she could only time travel 10 minutes to the past and you can only use it once in a 24-hour period.
And then again, does not make sense how she would have known those things, even if it was like her dad had those same powers. Because I'm thinking about that, it's a little fishy.
It's like with her dad, I think it is more akin to like what her dad had because like there's no time limit to it and like it takes off of like they age.
But if that's the case, she didn't age through hers. And second, he seemed to not have some consequences. It's just the same thing, no matter how much he tried, just kept happening. Again, time travel's a
I
really,
don't know.
really, really tricky thing to work out.
Yeah, it's so confusing and it's so convoluted. I have so many questions that I know I can't answer because it just hurts my brain. Another thing that like I don't quite get if like we bring in like the reverse for you aspect of it in this show, using their powers hurts them like viscerally. Like you can like it's like stated
I
like you
don't
can
know. It's
see
a
it
great question.
like it like physically hurts them. Why and Vivi never had that. So like where does that come
Couldn't
in?
tell you.
I'm so confused.
And you're gonna stay that way.
We brought this up earlier. I'm bringing it up again. It makes no fucking sense that Kliao Khluen, who is not part of the Wa bloodline, see like has like premonition dreams of timelines that she doesn't know about
Yeah, that
or the
definitely never made
future.
sense.
Like I'm confused. That makes no sense. I can expand my disbelief with Karan because of the weird family thing. It still doesn't make sense because like her power is strictly going back in time thing, and the premonition dreams seem to be like a different thing, more akin to like a Vivi power of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Still confused.
As we prepare to leave the stars behind, let's gather the stardust of our experience and share our final reflections on Reverse with Me. Really confusing show, but it was really good nonetheless.
I agree. Confusing, still a fun time. However, I will say me and Nixie have talked about this. We have differing opinions.
You have a problem with that?
No, I just think it's an interesting point to bring up that I still prefer reverse form for you, and that you said that you have a slight preference to this show.
I don't like the time travel thing,
Mm.
but I like the twist and stuff, the story plot.
Like, that's fair. I have nothing against this show. I think it's a lot of fun if you can put aside the confusion of it all. And like that is the same qualms I have against pretty much any show that revolves around time travel or time manipulation because it frankly doesn't make sense to me.
It sure doesn't because it is so freaking hard to make them make sense. Like,
Hmm.
make it make sense. Like, don't just if I'm gonna watch a time travel thing, I'm gonna overthink way too hard about how that even worked. So you've
Every
got to
time.
make sure it makes sense.
And they hardly ever do,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Stars Align Dramas and Dreams podcast, where we meet amongst the stars that illuminate the love stories that light up our universe and connect us all.
If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, and share your stardust and thoughts with us. We'd love to hear your comments, favorite moments, or suggestions for what we should explore next.
You can connect with us in the comments or through our socials, as well as our email that are linked in the description. Let's keep the conversation going under the stars.
Until next time, keep dreaming, keep listening, and remember, love always shines brightest in the cosmos.
Bye.
Bye.